Leo, it's your song. 8:23, we try to please the guests here on the show. It's a beautiful city. We know that much. To live in the city, that's a different reality in its own right, especially when it comes to renting. And that's what we wanted to bring you on today and talk about the realities of renting in Metro Vancouver. What are we seeing today for challenges of, one, finding them, and two, price points across the board?
Price points are getting up there. That's one of the biggest complaints. And the thing is, it's insanely competitive to get rentals. Like, as everyone knows, the stat's been out there forever. It's below 1%, the vacancy rate. So it's been like that since I can remember reporting on this stat. And it's super competitive, very demanding from landlords on what they expect from tenants, and it's just hard to find rentals these days.
Well, you did the homework, and you brought up some examples of what price points are. So first, if we look at downtown Vancouver and Yaletown specifically, what did you find, and what is the norm in this neighborhood?
So this is a one-bedroom. It's about 560 square feet, right in Yaletown pretty much, and their asking rate is at $22.50 a month.
Now, is that the standard when it comes to Yaletown for a one-bed?
One-bed Yaletown. This is a newer building, so it's going to usually be over $2,000. Very rarely you can negotiate on that, but you know, anywhere from $1,900 to $2,200, $2,300 for a one-bedroom Yaletown is what it's going for these days.
And there's not a lot of leverage if you're trying to rent these places, because I'm guessing there's a wait list and a huge short list of applicants.
Typically, they're getting pummeled with applications. I say to a lot of people, I get a lot of calls for rentals all the time, and I don't do rentals, but I say to people, like, unfortunately, you just have to apply without seeing it. I go, send out applications, because they're getting so many people doing that. You just have to kind of hope those pictures they've got are indicative of the suite.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we take it to this neighborhood over here, False Creek, what did you see that stood out?
False Creek's pretty similar to downtown. You're getting lots of newer buildings around here, right? Because it is a newer area. So you're going to be paying this, you almost pay the exact same rates as downtown just to be an Olympic Village here. Yeah, so you've got a two-bedroom here. This one's asking $3,200 a month. And I hate to say it, but when I saw that, I was like, that's not a bad deal. Wow. So $3,200 for a suite like this with a view. It's a big space, just under $1,000 a foot. That's what you're going to have to pay for something like that.
For those that want to come in and say, you know, we were talking about the BC line that tried to find a short-term rental of 6 months. Is that even a possibility now, or to get in there, it's 1 year or above?
Well, 6 months, it's going to be furnished. So if it's unfurnished, you're just not going to get a 6-month rental. They're not going to sign that lease with you. And if you're looking at furnished suite, you're paying a lot more, because they put a real big premium on furnished suites. Okay,
so we talked about a $2,000 or $3,000 price point. What if we want to get out of the downtown core, save some money? What are options?
You know what? You can go east. You can pretty much, the best deals we're finding right now are in these laneway homes. So every time I talk to someone who's renting a laneway, I go, wow, that's actually a really good price. Like this one's in Killarney. It's $1,450 a month for a two-bedroom, and it's like your little mini home. You don't got anyone above you, anyone below you. You kind of get your own space. These seem to be where the deals are. Basement suites, you can sometimes get a little bit more value, but again, the further out you go from the downtown core, the more deal you're going to get.
Do you have to bring your own fridge to this one? Or?
On top of that, you got to pay $5,000 for appliances. No, that one most likely would have included. They just hadn't got to that point yet.
So for anyone that is looking to rent, best tips that they can land the rental of their desire?
First off, don't have pets. If you have pets, it is almost impossible to rent a place. And I'm not saying get rid of your pets right now. I'm just saying it's so hard to rent with pets. So if you're thinking about getting the dog before rentals, you might want to rethink that for now. And really, I get all these calls all the time, and they're like, how do I find a rental, Leo? People coming from out of town. I go, you got to go on Craigslist first thing in the morning. You got to go on Craigslist at lunch, and then you got to go on there again in the afternoon, and you got to start sending out applications. And you got to try not to be scammed, because that's the other trick on Craigslist right now.
Other resources online that you go to aside from Craigslist?
There's a good website called PadMapper, and what it does is it takes all these websites and puts them in one. So it takes Craigslist, it takes Kijiji, and a few others, and it tries to put them all into one website, so you can just go on there and see how everyone's advertising. Because people out east, they use Kijiji a lot, so they might advertise a little bit more in there and things like that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, LeoWilkRealEstate.com is the website for Realtor resources. Leo, thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll take a break.